Hi, hello, welcome to soularcanatarot. I'm Anthony. I'll be doing the dungeon reading today. It's a little bit different style of tarot reading. It is really for discovering the origins behind different shadows, different defense mechanisms that keep us safe, but also stuck in life. So I have 2 dice. The D20 has the shadows. The D4 has the landscape of which the shadows exist. So let's go ahead and get started. I will roll the D20 for the shadow. We have 13. Thirteen is Sloth, Escapism. So with Sloth and Escapism, some things is avoiding responsibilities, living in fantasy or distraction, addiction to comfort, procrastination disguised as rest. Now I'll roll for the landscape. 2. So 2, the landscape is mountain. Mountain is just like the swords in tarot, so it rules over the mind. So in this instance, the escapism is escaping from thoughts. Could be escaping from overthinking, mental burnout, brain fog, replaying things from the past. So a lot of the things that you're escaping from originate from thoughts, from things that are still lingering inside your mental scape. And with the Fool, I start everyone with the Fool because the Fool is that very childlike energy. And even as we grow as an adults, we can become very rigid and project a lot because of just experiences. But when you're a child, it's very innocent, it's very open. So it's not to be completely naive and open, but to be able to be okay being a beginner in something, or to be okay being fully seen. And I feel like it revolves around being fully seen with the just with the energies that I'm feeling. Okay, so now we'll continue with the spread. On this towel right here, I will pull two more cards, or 2 more positions. So the next position will be your tool. So I've separated all the aces from the tarot deck, and the tool is the action you can take right now, the power you have available to you to get out of your head, to start making moves towards escapism. And it's Ace of Pentacles, so getting back in the body, grounding things. With Ace of Pentacles, it's really talking about getting your finances in order, getting your health in order, your diet in order, and not big crazy steps, but small initiatory steps. And that can help ground your mind. So it's really, grounding is what your mind needs. Movement, a lot of the times our energy gets trapped in the body, and the way to do that, the way to get rid of it is through movement. Either, it doesn't have to be somatic or some like yoga, it can be any kind of movement. It can be Muay Thai, it can be running, it could be bicycling, it could be swimming. All those things require movement, they require breath, they require your body kind of like almost vibrating because of just the movements and how they are. So it can be any kind of movement. But I'd like to say that this movement does require some moderation, does require a bit of pain and some uncomfortable feeling to kind of get back into your body. All right. And I'm not trying to diss slower movements, but I do tend to notice that a lot of the times a lot of people will only recommend slow, like gentle stuff, but in order to really get things going, you have to have some moderation. There has to be some pain and discomfort, just like with everything in life. Okay, now for your animal spirit. Your animal spirit is your innate gifts that you have inside of you. So this escapism is probably blocking these gifts that you have. Dragonfly represents the mind, and it is a very ancient creature, and it does revolve around the quality of your thoughts. So I'm going to go ahead and read Dragonfly from the book, but it does represent your mind and the quality of it. So it could also, another practice could be consciously writing out affirmations daily, making a small routine where you're actively changing your internal dialogue, actively changing the way you think. Instead of just whenever something comes up, you're doing it just because it's a routine, not because you're just feeling uncomfortable. It's just a part of life. Okay, so Dragonfly, master of light, illusion, and the mind. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder in all. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. When the dragonfly card appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still, dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. When in balance, you can see clearly, you're joyful, and you feel magical. When you're out of balance, you can't concentrate and you have a busy mind. To bring into balance, focus on the breath. So again, with the breath, movement. If you're someone who struggles with sitting still and doing breath work, just go out running. It's all built in already. You have to breathe. It's forcing you to breathe. It's forcing you to move. It's forcing you to be outside in the sun or just in the elements. There's uncomfortability there. But at the end of it, I guarantee you will feel more grounded than you did before you started. Okay. I'm going to move Sloth over here. I actually do have a little, I've been working on illustrations and kind of like building my own little deck. So here's Sloth. Here's a little cute picture of Sloth that I drew. All right. So Sloth is a giant in this particular deck that I created. It's a Cyclops giant. But yeah, for the next area, I will pull from the Major Arcana. So I'll pull a Major Arcana and also a Oracle card. This is the Quest card. Tower. And I'm going to pull the Oracle card before I speak more. I'm just going to kind of sit with us. Knowledge. Lasso. This is a pretty cool Magic the Gathering deck our Oracle deck that my friend gifted me. I'm going to pull a few more. I have some Magic the Gathering cards with my own text on them. I call this my call-out deck. Time Apart. Cholesterol. All right. Now with a little recap. So, shadow being sloth, escapism, and it affecting your mind, the quality of your thoughts. The way to get out of it is by grounding, movement, diet. See diet here with cholesterol. Time apart. Let's see. Could have really originated from either your old environment or your current environment. Current environment could just need more boundaries. But in general, the thoughts, the way you think about yourself, the ideas that you have about yourself, the way you perceive the world is ready to be broken down and reassembled, re-looked at, because something isn't working. You're here watching this video because you're feeling stuck. You may be continually caught in a loop and have trouble moving on. So this is the purpose of this reading, is to help get you to change that behavior and to transmute Sloth further down the line. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next, or actually I'm going to read knowledge from the book and see what this says. But with the ocean and the water, I'm seeing it, whenever you get into those loops, it really does affect you emotionally as well. That it originates in the mind, and then it affects your emotions. And with Thassa, she's kind of like a mystical creature that rules part of the ocean. So meaning ruling her own emotions. So this is kind of like an indication that you're in a moment, you're in a time where you're trying to rebuild how you see yourself, how other people see you, build a foundation that supports emotion, your own emotion. Here's the meaning. So card meaning, the ocean is vast and ever changing. Much like our own thoughts and feelings, those who are brave enough to explore both the surface and the depths can uncover the secrets to mastering their mind and emotions. The voyage can be external or internal, but the main thing is to take it. Don't get lost in depths of powerful thoughts and emotions. If you feel tsunami coming on, find a way to diffuse it before it hits land. Breathe. So if you find yourself, like even in the process of trying to heal, it's going to bring up emotion. And when those emotions do come up, you can react to it with movement. Keeping those three things flowing will eventually help make that change permanent, or at least give you a better way of controlling it, keeping it in check. Your shadows never leave. Your shadows are there to protect you, but they've protected you for so long, it becomes automatic. And your job is to tell your shadows to kind of chill. You know, you have to be able to decipher when your shadows are truly defending you and when they're not. So the origin is anxiety. So 9 of Swords. So it's all created in your mind. And it's like this person in the picture it looks like she's in a cell. And it looks like there's a shadow carrying a ton of swords. And she's just like cowering in the corner. So a lot of these things were projected onto you. They weren't necessarily just your thoughts. I mean, no one really just has negative thoughts about themselves without having some sort of bullying or some sort of projection from your environment, from friends, from family, from parents, from guardians, whatever it may be. So the origin is, let's see, I'm going to pull a clarifier to go a little bit deeper. I have a separate deck, a separate full deck. And I mean full, I mean it's not separated like how I have these other ones. So 9 of Coins in reverse. 9 of Coins upright is someone who's very stable and structured within themselves. They're not flashy. They're not needing to. They don't need anyone else to know how confident they are in themselves. They just exude it. It's a very King of Pentacle energy, whereas like maybe a King of Wands is very much a bit flashy, a bit flaunty, but still grounded. But with the 9 of Cups or the 9 of Coins in reverse, the voices could have really made you feel unsecure in yourself, made you feel like you have to prove yourself almost, constantly proving yourself. Another thing could be is another coping mechanism of escapism is like overeating too, or finding comfort in food. Just something that we all all deal with. I've dealt with all these things. I've put myself through multiple dungeons for myself and I've gotten a lot of benefit from them. So I'm hoping it can do the same for you. Okay, so the next position is the distortion. So what is your shadow protecting you from by escaping? So it's protecting you from Three of Swords. It's protecting you from pain, really. And it could be protecting you from recognizing the truth of a matter. It could be hard to accept. The Three Swords, like one sword cuts the illusion, one sword cuts the... No, they all cut something different. The illusion, the attachment, and it doesn't really necessarily matter what they're cutting, but it's the swords represent truth and clarity. So it's like realizing the truth behind something, fully accepting the truth of the matter. No sugarcoating, no it's an understanding, but it's not an excuse for the people that did this, or the situations, the environment. I'm going to pull another clarifier for Three of Swords. But the escapism is really, it thinks that it's protecting you, but it's not. And with the Five of Swords, it's protecting you at all costs. With the Five of Swords, it's like winning at all costs. But in this instance, in this position, it's protecting yourself at all costs from feeling pain, even if it means neglecting your body, even if it means neglecting your mind, neglecting the way you show up in the world. Now for the next position is the cost. So what is this going to cost you if you continue to escape, if you continue to give in to sloth, if you continue to just have unhealthy coping mechanisms? The cost is Two of Cups reversed. So it's really going to cost you meeting people that you truly resonate with, people that you don't have to mask around, people who you'd show up and there's already harmony, there's already an understanding. And it's also, the card of companionship too. So it could be also blocking you from meeting a companion. And also blocking you from feeling from exuding both your feminine and your masculine energies, because we all, male and female, or whatever you identify as, you have both in you. No matter what, you're going to have a feminine energy and you're going to have a masculine energy. And if one is afraid to show up, then the other is going to overcompensate in a negative way. But really, there's a balance of both, or there needs to be a balance of both. Should be a balance of both. Okay. Now for the next tile on this side, we'll go into the battle phase. So the battle with Sloth. So we're going to cut the cords. We're going to tame Sloth. And the first awareness strike you have is the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is an awareness is that it is okay to show up. And when you do show up, you may find that you naturally will attract people who are like-minded, whether they work together with you, whether they help you in your endeavors, or whether they provide resources. And so a collaboration can be someone who provides resources, someone who helps get you seen, or someone who actually has the same value, the same goal, and can contribute to something that's bigger than both. Now for the action, or the action strike, we have 2 wands. The Two of Wands is about planning, um, getting ideas, brainstorming. Uh, could even be about relocation. In this instance, he's like kind of studying, where do I want to go? Where am I going to go where I'm going to feel supported? Where's the best place for me to be supported? I'm going to pull one more. Nine of Cups is the wish. So I'd say in order to endure sloth, it's going to take a routine of grounding, of maybe getting some sort of movement. It's going to require journaling about your thoughts, and included with that journaling, affirmations, positive affirmations, just repeating those words in your brain to help them set in and help break down the old words, the old phrases, the old projections that aren't yours. And now I'm going to pull from the court cards. So with the court cards, it is the energy that Sloth is subduing. So underneath Sloth, this is truly who you are. When you're not escaping, when you're not afraid, when you're confident in yourself, when you're around people who truly love you, you're the Page of Cups. So you're not a master of your emotions yet. You're learning to let them be seen again. You're allowing them to be in the ocean of emotion. Rhymed. So with this picture, with this page, his cup is empty. He's poured out, and there's a fish behind him, and he's kind of guarding it. And he looks a little bit defensive, almost, I'd say. So this process is going to be a bit slower. It's going to take some vulnerability. But the main thing is just being open emotionally to new experiences, new people, new environments, new collaborators. And that's really what's going to help lock in this energy so that it can eventually become the knight, the queen, and then the king. And now with the final card, I'm going to pull one more oracle, and this is the treasure. So once you embody this energy, what is it going to naturally attract in you? Or to you, I'd say. So I pulled Iosis reddening. So it's your ability to turn shitty experiences, negative experiences, extract the wisdom, let go of the rest, and use that wisdom to build up your character even more, to be even more stronger. So the darkness that people projected on you was just energy for you to transmute later on, to shed your skin, to become a new version of self, just like the snakes do. You can see it's coiled around these materials. I see lead, gold. I'm not entirely sure what this one is. Let's go ahead and read from the book. But it seems to be the main picture too as well. All right. Oh yeah, it just keeps appearing. So it's pretty significant. Let's see. It is 15. So I'm having trouble finding this. Where is it at? 113. Okay. Iosis, reddening. Life force, kundalini, blood. The reddening indicates a full expression of the work. Everything is alive. The heart pumps, the cells celebrate, and blood sings its way through the body. What was dormant has been awakened. What was once considered base is now noble. Aches and pains are integrated, shadows are acknowledged and interwoven. When the reddening card appears, it signifies health, power, a climaxing of the work, a coalescing of what has been learned. The laboratory is no longer separate from the alchemist or from the work, but the three are now one. What occurs in the body is reflected in the world and vice versa. Through the process of reddening, we move out of the head and into the physical body. More specifically, we reach the heart. It is there the alchemist finds the sacred ingredients of power and kindness. And so that really does tie together the entire reading. So I hope you enjoyed this Dungeon Tarot. And before you go, let's see, I do have side quests for each shadow. These are just little things that you can start applying when you click off this video. So what I have for escapism, so sit in silence for 5 minutes, delay distraction by 30 minutes, face the tasks you've been avoiding first. So there's some side quests for you. I hope this reading helped. If you'd like a personal Dungeon Tarot, you can reach out to me at soularcanatarot@gmail.com, and I'll see you next time.